Rockers, I'm Sam, and introducing our new host for this semester, Ian.
What's up, guys?
And welcome to the premiere episode of the 7th season of Indie Rockers Ball.
Today, we have a great show planned for you, including a performance by Nathan Janoff.
Don't go anywhere. The beloved Pittsburgh rapper Mac Miller passed away Friday, September 7th in his California home of an apparent drug overdose. Miller was 26 years old and just released his 5th studio album, Swimming, on August 3rd. Known for his incredibly touching lyrics and charisma, Miller's family, friends, fans, and the hip-hop community are completely distraught over this news. TMZ obtained a statement made by his family saying, Malcolm McCormick, known and adored by his fans as Mac Miller, has tragically passed away at the age of 26. He was a bright light in this world for his family, friends, and fans. Thank you for your prayers. There has been an incredible amount of support from fans for Miller. There was a vigil for fans on September 11th at Blueside Park, located in Pittsburgh. This memorial lasted 4 hours and allowed fans to decorate with candles, art, and Pittsburgh gear. The slide also received a fresh coat of paint that morning. A celebrity that has been brought up multiple times regarding Miller's death is his ex-girlfriend, Ariana Grande. She posted a video on Instagram of the two together, including the quote, "You were my dearest friend for so long, above anything else. I'm so sorry I couldn't fix or take your pain away." Many of us here at IRB are heartbroken about this news, and we will miss Mac Miller greatly.
The death of the Cranberries' lead singer, Dolores O'Riordan, has been ruled an accident by London's Inner West coroner, Dr. Shirley Radcliffe. O'Riordan was found dead in her London hotel room January 15th, 2018. She was only 46. O'Riordan's fellow bandmates of the Cranberries released a press statement via social media on September 6th. In this statement, they kindly ask, "We request, please, our privacy to be respected this time." The band also included gratitude for their fans' support, stating, "Dolores will live on eternally in her music. To see how much of a positive impact she had on people's lives has been a source of great comfort to us. We'd like to say thank you to the fans for the outpouring of messages of their continued support during this very difficult time." Some of the 90s band's most famous hits included Zombie, off their album No Need to Argue, released in 1994, and Linger, off of their 1993 album Everybody Else Is Doing It, So Why Can't We? O'Riordan also went on to release 2 solo albums, Are You Listening and No Baggage, until returning to the Cranberries to release their final album, Rose, in 2012.
I can't believe Swimming is the last album we will ever get from Mac Miller.
And I can't believe Roses is the last album we're ever going to get from the Cranberries.
Me too. I'm just happy they both left behind so much great music for us to remember them by.
Well, we know one thing for sure. Both artists are going to be remembered for generations.
I know, right? Well, Rockers, up next is Nick with Music Lesson.
Hey Rockers, and welcome back to Music Lesson. For the first week, we're going to be learning I'm So Sick by Flyleaf. So you want to be in drop D tuning, and instead of tuning the 6th string to the 5th string on the 5th fret, you want to tune it on the 7th fret. That way your power chords, instead of forming your power chords this way, you only need one finger. So the only chords you need are the open, 3, 4, 6, and then octave on the 5th and 3rd string. So basically you start out on the third fret, like so. You want the octave power chord on the 5th and 3rd string. So you start out on the 3rd fret, open, 3rd, hammer onto the 4th, pull off to the 3rd, open, 4th, slide up to the 6th. So we'll play that first part. Once you strum on the 6th fret 3 times, you slide up to the 9th fret on the 5th string, skip the 4th string, and you want to mute it with either your index finger or your ring finger. It's easier with the ring finger because you can push the tip of your finger against the 4th string and then play the 11th fret on the 3rd string. So basically this one, the 4th string is muted. So let's play that again. And now you know how to play the main riff for I'm So Sick by Flyleaf. We'll see you next week, Rockers.
The The popular UK band, the 1975, has just released the setlist for their new album, A Brief Inquiry to Online Relationships, which is set to release on November 30th. The second album, Notes on a Conditional Form, is set to release in May of next year. This highly anticipated album includes a 15-song setlist, which includes the singles they have already released, such as Give Yourself a Try, Love It If We Made It, and the synth-heavy Two Time, Two Time, Two Time, as well as Sincerity is Scary, which was released September 13th. The 1975's fans originally thought the album was going to be named Music for Cars, which is also the name of one of their EPs. After the lead singer of the band, Matt Healy, released a statement saying, "We're using it as the album title now because of how meta and self-referential everything has become in the world of the 1975, and Music for Cars was always my favorite title of everything we'd ever done, so it kind of makes sense to wrap it up that way." Also, with the new song release and the track lists, the 1975 has announced their tour dates for the UK and Ireland. But we are still on the lookout for US tour dates.
Veteran rapper Eminem just released his 10th studio album titled Kamikaze on August 31st. Some of the top tracks on this album include The Ringer and Lucky You featuring Joyner Lucas. This album is Eminem's 9th consecutive album to hit the #1 spot on Billboard's Top 100 charts. He's now tied with the Rolling Stones and Garth Brooks for the 5th most leaders in the chart's history. Kamikaze was dropped as a surprise with no release date set before the drop. In addition to this surprise, Eminem had also compiled a long list of celebrities that he disses on the 13-song album, including Drake, Vince Staples, Tyler the Creator, Machine Gun Kelly, Migos, Earl Sweatshirt, Donald Trump, and Lil Pump. Those are just few of the celebrities that this rapper takes a stab at. On the song Fall, he raps, "Get Earl, the hooded sweatshirt, whatever his name is, to help you put together some words more than 2 letters," concerning rapper Earl Sweatshirt. Tell us what you think of Eminem's new album and his disses to other celebrities on Twitter and Facebook at IUP-TV.
Wow, I can't believe Eminem would call out that many celebrities on his new album.
I know, right? And he's already gotten a ton of backlash for it.
Definitely a power move, if you ask me.
I'd say so. Machine Gun Kelly even released a diss track in response.
That's crazy. Eminem is definitely not messing around.
That's what I'm saying. All right, next up is Rocker's Review.
Hey Rockers, thank you for joining us today. Today we have a very special edition of Rockers Review. We are honoring the one, the only, Malcolm McCormick, Mac Miller, who just recently passed away last week. So guys, do you remember where you were, what were you doing when you found out about Mac Miller?
I can remember I was in middle school. I was on my way to a baseball game, and I heard on 96.1 KISS they had a local spotlight, and they were like, this rapper's fresh out of Pittsburgh, give him a listen, his name is Mac Miller, and Party on Fifth Ave started playing. So first time I heard him.
First time I heard him, my brother really got me into the starter hip hop, and it was the whole generation that was Mac Miller, Wale, Big Sean, and J. Cole. They were all, and Kendrick Lamar were all kind of bubbling to the surface all kind of simultaneously. So that was just the first hip hop I really got into. It was what was new at the time, and I heard Kids, and I thought that was pretty cool because I was like, oh, this is actually kind of relatable. I saw that music video for Kool-Aid and Frozen Pizza.
Oh, yeah.
That was the first thing I had ever seen, and I was like, ah, this dude,
Yeah.
super cool. I'm down for this, yeah. And now, I mean, here we are, so many albums and mixtapes later.
I know, and he's become so popular. Definitely a vision for Pittsburgh. He represents Pittsburgh a lot. I think that's why. I know I'm very distraught over this, finding out that he passed away. I'm a huge Mac Miller fan. I listened to him this reminds me of high school. That's what I listened to in high school, and he's really the only rapper. He doesn't really listen to a lot of rap anymore, and he's the one that is just always I still listen to him. I still listen to him up until the day that I found out. So I know I was personally very crushed by this, but we have all this great music to remember him by. So personally, what are your guys' favorite albums, songs, etc.?
I'd say my favorite album is Blue Slide Park, and a lot of people say, oh, how could that be your favorite album? There is a reason. I've been drumming for the past 15 years of my life. I've been doing music, ever since I could remember. But the first album that I sat down at my drum set and said, I'm going to drum the whole way through this album was Blue Slide Park. So that's kind of why it's more nostalgia than anything. Of course, he's put out much better works, not to diss on Blue Slide Park at all, but Swimming, the latest album, fantastic. But that one will always resonate with me.
I've always been a fan of his live performances. Mm-hmm. I'm huge into R&B and live productions of hip hop, they've been doing since the 2000s, and he really realized that that was like a gem to, perform hip hop music with a live band. And so I would say, if I were to pick a performance or an album, I would say that his most recent, his NPR Tiny Desk was awesome.
Yes, I know those have been floating around. I've seen those like on Twitter and like really popular because of like what happened. And
I mean, it came out a little while ago, but
yeah,
now
but it's like I've seen those floating around now because of what happened. But yeah, I have seen those before. Like all of his live performances, in my opinion, are just like because hip hop I think can be kind of tricky sometimes to do live. It just doesn't sound like it does. Like he's always just done like a fantastic job, in my opinion, with performing live.
Yeah.
So I was fortunate enough to see him when he came to IUP 2 years ago. I believe it was 2 years ago.
Yeah.
It was a great show. I wasn't going to go and get a ticket for myself, to be entirely honest. I'm not going to jump on the bandwagon and act like I was like his hugest fan, but like I got a free ticket because my roommate's girlfriend couldn't go, and I was like, yeah, sure, I'll go. I haven't listened to this guy in a few years or something, and I went, and it was just as this album, The Divine Feminine, had come out, and he played all those songs, and I was like, oh, wow. And he played that what's that banger with Anderson .Paak. What's that one called?
Oh, Dang.
Yeah,
that's a great one.
He played that song, and everybody was going crazy in the KCAC.
That's probably one of my, I'd say Divine Feminine is probably my favorite album out of all of his works, and that's when I went to go see him. I actually went to go see him 2 years tomorrow. Like it'll be 2 years that I saw him. Yeah, so really. But so I saw the Divine Feminine tour too, and it was really good. And everyone like lost it during that song, and it was really cool because I was like, that's my favorite album so far. I do love Swimming. I think Swimming was absolutely amazing. Especially, I thought it was cool he released it like around the same time Ariana Grande released Sweetener. So I think that was like a lot of people thought that was like planned, especially since they're very closely tied. So
yeah, a lot of people thought Divine Feminine was actually written for Ariana Grande.
Yeah, and it wasn't. I mean, she might have. She is actually, and she's on one of the songs, which is a really good song. But I don't think it was written for her. I think
Maybe
definitely she was definitely an influence. It wasn't like but he wrote it just like he's just. I think he's so amazing. I think he's a great writer, and I think that he not only does he have a lot of great like studio albums, he has a lot of great mixtapes. He has so many mixtapes.
Yeah.
Like I haven't even
like a dozen or something.
Yeah,
right?
yeah, it's like 11 or 12, and I haven't even heard all of them. Like, there's just so much music that he has put out. My personal favorite mixtape is Macadelic. I don't know if you guys have any opinion on the mixtapes.
I love Macadelic.
I also love Macadelic.
That came out in like my senior year of high school.
Yeah.
And when it came time for like prom, everybody was like into that. I remember we had like a little after party, but it was just like people sitting around the fire listening to that album, listening to it all the way through. It was super cool. And you touched on earlier how he collaborated with Ariana on that album and and how that they worked together on that. And I've always had mad respect for his ability as like a collaborator.
Yes.
He has worked with some of my favorite
He's worked with like almost everybody.
Yeah,
like
and
he
when
has
he
worked
came
with
up,
everybody.
I mean, he was like growing with and alongside Wiz Khalifa from Pittsburgh. They both like kind of opened up a new like vein of Pittsburgh music, and collaborating with him, collaborating with Kendrick Lamar, collaborating with Thundercat, collaborating with like
Thundercat was actually
Anderson
supposed
.Paak.
to go.
Those are all like some of my favorite musicians, and I mean he's a very talented producer, so I can understand why they would want to get him on that. You have a favorite like collab of his?
I can't name one right now. I could definitely say that what is it? Red Dot Music, I think it is.
Watching movies.
Watching movies with the sound off with Action Bronson. I've always liked Action Bronson. I just think his whole like demeanor, I've really enjoyed. So seeing them kind of, because they have more different stylistic choices. Mac Miller kind of goes for more like subtle flows on the album, and Action Bronson kind of like kicks in a little more aggressively. So it was really cool to see those two work together.
Yeah, Action's like a fierce, spicy.
He's
Ghostface
collabed with
killer.
so many people.
Yeah, exactly.
And it's just, all right, rockers. Thank you so much for joining us and celebrating Mac Miller. There's not enough that can be said about him. We really wish his friends, family, and fans condolences. We'll see you next time, rockers. Popular alternative band Paramore's frontwoman Hayley Williams has just announced that they will be retiring their hit song Misery Business from their setlist because of recent backlash it has received from fans for the line, "Second chances, they don't matter, people never change, once a whore, you're nothing more, I'm sorry, that'll never change." Williams brought this particular line up in 2015 on Tumblr. "Misery Business is not a set of lyrics that I relate to as a 26-year-old woman. I haven't related to it in a very long time. Those words were written when I was 17, admittedly from a very narrow-minded perspective. It wasn't really meant to be this big philosophical statement about anything." As William launched into the song on Friday, September 7th at the Nashville Municipal Auditorium, she stated, "This is to every bad decision that led us here. This is to all the embarrassing things we might have said, but we owned up to it and we grew." Williams did not sing the offensive lyrics that night. What do you think, rockers? Were the lyrics that offensive, and did the song deserve to be retired?
Currently on tour with most of the original band back together, Smashing Pumpkins has found a name for the new album. It'll be titled Shiny and Oh So Bright Volume 1/LP. No past, no future, no sun. Although most of the original band will be appearing on the album, the original bassist, Darcy Retsky, won't make an appearance on this new album due to many public disputes with Billy Corgan, the lead guitarist. This album is planned to be released on November 16 through Billy Corgan, the lead guitarist's music company called Martha Music, which is licensed under Napalm Records. They're currently more associated with the heavy releases such as Candlemass, Dee Snider, and Delane. The news of this new album originally came when the Smashing Pumpkins performed Silvery Sometimes, or Ghosts, on BBC Thursday. During this performance, and after the release of the song, Corgan appeared to be in a new songwriting mood. Then in June, the band released another song called Solara. This was the first single on the album to feature Corgan, Chamberlain, Ia, and Schroeder all together. Will this new Smashing Pumpkins album be good, or at least what the fans are expecting? I guess we'll just have to wait and see when it's released on November 16th.
I can't believe I will never be able to see Misery Business performed live.
I know, that's one of my favorite Paramore songs by far.
Me too. I guess I'll just have to listen to it on repeat and imagine myself there.
Sam? Sam? Anyways, next up is Check This Out.
I'm in the business of misery. Let's take it from
What's up, everybody? This is Jake. Thanks for tuning in. We've got some new music, got a new semester, but we've got a local favorite, Nathan Janov, with us tonight. Nate, take it away whenever you're ready.
All right. I'm afraid of spiders and commitment. This song's about that. Caught in an ocean of your eyes, I think I forgot how to swim this time. I've seen perfection, it's got nothing on you. Spiders crawling in my veins, I caught a chill from the sound of your name. And now I think that I'm going insane. At least I have myself to blame. I'm in love with a chemical compound. It's got me messed up with nowhere to be found. But she said, well, ain't it a shame that all these boys, they know my name. Spiders crawling in my veins, I caught a chill from the sound of your name. And now I think that I'm going insane. At least I have myself to blame. Ain't it a shame? Never mind the game. Well, ain't it a shame? Never mind those spiders crawling in my veins. I caught a chill from the sound of your name. And now I think that I'm going insane. At least I have myself to blame. This next song is called Stokely. I know I said we'd leave someday, but California seems so far away. I bet it all, I know these broken things, but still I call, despite all that brings. And I know I said I'm sorry, but I've forgotten just what that means. But still I fall in love with all these things. But still I call, despite all that brings. I skim the pages, but I get the gist. I'm thinking, baby, maybe we could get away from all of this. Let's go. We could get away from this. Spent my last few times on a cute waitress, cold cup of coffee and a warm cigarette. Breathe in with me. I'm on the outside looking in, and that's all I'll ever be. And I saw summer leave your eyes, and I saw fall begin to creep beside. Please let it be. I know it's not perfect, but it's a part of me. I skim the pages, but I get the gist. I'm thinking, baby, maybe we could get away from all of this. Let's go. We could get away from this. We could get away from this. We could get away from this. All right. Song's about a girl that likes to change her hair a lot. Ramona's on my mind. In fact, she's on it all the time. I should really go, but it's cold outside. You know, Ramona's on my mind. She said, come on, take it slow. You remind me of a boy that I used to know. I still got an hour so. So pour me something hot, and I will tell you all the things that I'm not. Don't give it a second thought. Oh, Ramona is on my mind. Common sense I can't really find. Monchetti, you and me were one big mystery. But I don't have a dog or a van, as you see. She said, come on, take it slow. You remind me of a boy that I used to know. I still got an hour so. So pour me something hot, and I will tell you all the things that I'm not. Don't give it a second thought. 'Cause Ramona is on my mind. 'Cause Ramona is on my mind this time. Oh, Ramona night is on my mind.
Hey, we're back with Nathan Janov. He's got some great new songs. He's got a beautiful new guitar. Nate, how have you been since we last talked, man?
Oh, I've been great.
Great to see you again.
Dude, you as well.
So what have you been up to since we last saw you? We had you on last year, but it seems things have definitely changed since then.
Yeah, just a lot of writing, a lot of recording, a lot of performing. That's been my big move forward. Just performing a lot more. So that's been cool. Yeah.
You were getting around this summer. I heard you were playing a lot in Pittsburgh.
Yeah, Pittsburgh and all the surrounding suburbs. A lot of time in Jeanette, Lawrenceville, Bloomfield, kind of like the dive bar scene. It's been pretty fun.
Nice.
Yeah.
And I know you've been hitting like some stages, some like cafes and little clubs where singer-songwriters are known to play, but also some alternative spots like some underground spots, I assume.
Yeah, for sure. Just cute little cafes. Like there's this little spot in Jeanette called the Keynote. That's like a really chill. Like it's kind of like a impoverished area, so there's not a lot going on down there. But the Keynote just like stuck it out, and the owner Jill is like a sweetheart, so it's super fun to play there.
Nice.
And I'll go from scenes like that to like more like dive punkier, dive barish kind of places.
And you can really apply to either. I know you've got a history of playing in like punk rock bands, but you've also got your whole songwriting thing going on by yourself with your acoustic guitar. So I'm sure you could like apply it to any situation.
For sure, it's fun to transcend, definitely.
Speaking of guitars, I want to talk about this beautiful guitar. Is this a recent pickup of yours?
Oh man, yeah. I picked this one up in July, and I've been in love ever since.
Sounds awesome, man. It's loud. It's really bombastic. It's got that wider shape. Is that a different tone that you achieve through getting a different shaped guitar?
Yeah, definitely. I'm a huge advocate of Martin guitars. I've been in love. I've always wanted one for like ever, and when I finally got one, I got a triple O body, which is a lot thinner, smaller acoustic guitar, and it was awesome, and I still love it. But I wanted to get like the more deep, bassy dreadnought size, so that's why I went and picked this one up.
Yeah, man. I mean, you got a huge voice, so you need an equally huge guitar sound if it's just going to be those two instruments.
That was the issue I ran into. Was I ended up like just blaring the guitar through the PA because I just kept overtaking it.
Yeah.
So I've had significantly less of an issue with this one, which has been great.
And it sounds like your vocals have expanded greatly. Have you been doing more singing than usual? I mean, I don't know. I don't know anything about singing, but I mean, there's an obvious jump to the next level that you made, man.
Oh man, thank you.
It's beautiful.
Yeah, that means the world. Just a lot of writing. I think my songwriting more than my voice has improved. So just learning to use the range that I have as opposed to just keeping it in the pocket.
Cool.
So it's been cool. Yeah.
Any new like inspiration since the last time we were here? Anything that's kind of reshaped the way, like any live shows you've seen? Anybody that has introduced you to some music or anything like that?
I've gone backwards, and I've been going back and listening to stuff that I'd listened to a long time ago, like when I was in like my punkier phases. Like I've been listening to like a lot of 80s new wave, like The Cure, The Psychedelic Furs, stuff like that, and then just a lot of like late 2000s pop punk, like Transit and stuff like that. It's been cool.
Nice. It's always cool to go back and like see the seed of where like the music we have today, like where it came from. You know what I mean?
Absolutely.
And especially when it's going back to some legends like that, you know?
Yeah.
So this summer, I mean, you were all over the place, but was the Keynote your #1 spot, or did you have a show that really stuck out to you?
I had a really bad show. I played for like 4 people in this dive bar in Lawrenceville once, and of the 4 people, one was somebody that I brought, the other was my sister who just happened to be in town, and the other 2 were members of the other band. So that was pretty rough. But you got to play to 4 like you're playing to 4,000.
Yeah, true.
But for sure, no, the Keynote's a great spot. Like I love playing down there. I've been playing there since I was like 14 or 15. I've been down there. So
you're local. They've known you since you're a wee dude.
Yeah, they're great.
Awesome. Sick. Well, you got this new album out on Spotify, Mouthful of Roses. You want to talk a little bit about that? What that is comprised of?
Yeah, for sure. I put out an EP called Mouthful of Roses, which is just all it is live recordings from performances. So it's 4 tracks, 2 of which were actually recorded at the IUP Open Mic Nights.
Nice.
And then the other 2 were recorded at the Keynote Cafe. So
sweet. And you're back on your open mic game, I'm sure, on Monday nights?
Oh yeah, always.
Nice. At the Hub Ohio Room. Anybody want to come check it out? He's always there, and he always kills it. It's always a good time. Thanks so much for coming on. Really appreciate you taking the time to talk to us and play us some songs.
Always.
And that's it for this episode of IRB.
Thanks for tuning in to the first episode of Season 7, guys.
Make sure to tune in next week for a performance by EJ.
Follow us on social media at Indie Rockers Ball or IRB-TV for more updates on your music news.
See you later, rockers.